Another big blow coming for the Congress party ahead of crucial Uttar Pradesh assembly polls. Congress heavyweight and former Minister RPN Singh has tendered his resignation from the party's primary membership. In fact, he is likely to be joining the BJP at 2:30 p.m. today. He's also removed Congress from his Twitter bio. That sent out a big signal, following which he put out a formal message saying that he begins a new chapter. In fact, this comes certainly as a big jolt for the grand old party. Many veterans in recent years have now resigned from the party, including Jitin Prasada, Jyotiraditya Scindia. If reports are to be believed here, BJP is mulling over fielding RPN Singh against Samajwadi Party Swami Prasad Maurya from Padrauna Assembly seat. In fact, earlier yesterday, Congress had released a list of 30 star campaigners for the first phase. The grand old party has included RPN Singh in that list. RPN Singh held Padrauna throne thrice. He was elected as an MLA from the Congress party thrice in 1996, in 2002 and in 2007. The leader's departure now comes as a massive setback for the efforts of the UP in charge, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who is leading this campaign in the state.
The kind of fight that the Indian National Congress is putting up all across the country, and particularly in a state like Uttar Pradesh, is a battle against the government's resources, the battle for truth. And to fight a battle as strongly pitched as this one, you have to fight it with courage, you have to fight it with a lot of dedication. I don't think this is meant for the coward, and like Priyanka ji has said, you need to be on your toes.
This young man is grounded, principled, and it is not for any opportunistic situation that he's coming to the Bharatiya Janata Party. There are certain principles he has stood for, and if that principles are being reflected in the Bharatiya Janata Party, that's coincidental. And if he comes and joins the good idea of Sabke Saath, Sabka Vikas, I think that's a very interesting process that is going to set a principle in
stressing news as far as the Congress is concerned. We also don't forget that, there are impact of, the perception can go not just in Uttar Pradesh, but it can go to the other states where the Congress is in a tough battle as well. So I do believe that while RPN may not have been the kind of active politician that he was during the UPA days, the fact remains that when you have been an elected MP, you have a very core, loyal supporters who will vote for you. And let's face it, many of the people who lost from the Congress lost not because they were unpopular, it's because the party was getting a lot of negative flack. So I do believe that this is a shot in the arm for the BJP, even if it's more optics and atmospherics and may not have any significant impact during the election. For the Congress, one could have said that they can ill afford this kind of a lapse happening at this point of time.
प्रभारी हमारे यहाँ लगातार जो हर प्रभारी 3 वर्ष के लिए होते हैं, कोई 4 वर्ष के लिए हो जाता है, तो प्रभारी जी के जाने का फर्क झारखंड पे कोई ऐसा पड़ने वाले की जो बात कही जा रही है उसमें कहीं कोई दम नहीं है। यहाँ सब लोग कांग्रेस पार्टी से लोग जुड़े होते हैं, किसी व्यक्ति विशेष से जुड़े हुए नहीं होते हैं। इसलिए उन्होंने जो निर्णय लिया है, उन्होंने कुछ सोच समझ करके निर्णय लिया होगा और वो व्यक्तिगत उनका निर्णय है, लेकिन हम समझते हैं कि उन्होंने फैसला जो लिया है वो गलत फैसला लिया है और ये माने उनके मिजाज से मिलता हुआ जुलता फैसला नहीं है।
All right, I'm going to cut across to our reporters tracking these developments. Supriya joining us for more on that. She's been joined in fact, by Congress leader Meem Afzal. Supriya, take it away.
As far as Congress party is concerned, today they have taken a very strong stand saying that anyone who's leaving the Congress party is a coward. And to talk more about it, at the background of RPN Singh, I have been joined by Congress spokesperson Mr. Meem Afzal. Sir, एक के बाद एक सीनियर लीडर्स जा रहे हैं कांग्रेस पार्टी के, और वो भी जा रहे हैं वो जो कैबिनेट थे, पहले सिंधिया जी गए, फिर उसके बाद अब RPN सिंह जी चले गए, जितिन प्रसादा भी गए। कैसे देखते हैं इसे आप?
देखिए, प्रियंका जी ने एक बात कही, उसको सामने रखना चाहिए। ये एक बहुत सख्त लड़ाई है जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ख़िलाफ़ और इस देश के अंदर जिस तरह से निज़ाम चल रहा है उसके ख़िलाफ़ कांग्रेस पार्टी उसमें डटी हुई है। अब उसमें बहुत सारे लोग बहादुरी के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ लोगों में कमज़ोरी है, उसी में एक RPN सिंह भी हैं। मुझे तो उनसे उम्मीद नहीं थी, चूँकि मेरी उनके बारे में बहुत अच्छी राय थी। लेकिन वो अचानक इस तरह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी में चले जाएंगे। देखिए, बुनियादी बात ये नहीं है कि कौन कहाँ चला गया। बड़ी बुनियादी बात यह है कि एक आइडियोलॉजिकल पार्टी भारतीय जनता पार्टी है, एक आइडियोलॉजिकल पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी है। हमारी आइडियोलॉजी और उनकी आइडियोलॉजी में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है। जैसे दो अलग अलग दिशाएं होती हैं, बिल्कुल ऐसा मामला है। मुझे हैरत होती है जब कोई ऐसा आदमी जो पार्टी से जुड़ा रहा, उसको तकरीबन बहुत कुछ मिला, आज कहा जा रहा है कि शायद उनको कोई जिम्मेदारी यूपी में नहीं मिली थी। जिम्मेदारियां तो उनको बहुत पहले भी दी गई, और अगर जिम्मेदारी इतनी बड़ी स्टेट में किसी को नहीं मिलती तो उससे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी उनके पास झारखंड की थी। तो सभी कुछ मिल जाए, ये चाहत जो है बुनियादी तौर पर आदमी को कमज़ोर करती है। तो मैं इसे कमज़ोरी की निशानी मानता हूँ। और एक बात और भी है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी से कुछ लोग डर गए हैं। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि RPN जैसा आदमी अगर उस डर का शिकार हो गया तो बहुत अफसोस की बात है।
अच्छा, एक चीज़ आप जो कह रहे हैं, झारखंड की बात कर रहे हैं, तो वहाँ पर सब चंगा रहेगा, सरकार को कोई खतरा तो नहीं है?
कोई सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता है इसका। झारखंड से इसका क्या लेना देना है? वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एक इंचार्ज थे कांग्रेस पार्टी के, आज नहीं रहेंगे, कोई दूसरा इंचार्ज बन जाएगा। इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। झारखंड के लोगों को जो कुछ भी लेना है कांग्रेस पार्टी से लेना है, RPN से तो नहीं मिलेगा।
अच्छा, ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि शायद वो चुनाव लड़ सकते हैं, वो एक बहुत बड़ा फेस है OBC के, और जिस तरह से देश में OBC पॉलिटिक्स चल रही है उसको देखकर बीजेपी ने समीकरण बिठाए हैं। आप भी जो है उत्तर प्रदेश की नब्ज़ को समझते हैं, तो क्या कहेंगे उस चीज़ के ऊपर?
देखिए, मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता कि आज की तारीख में वो कोई बड़ा अहम रोल अदा करने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी को फ़ायदा पहुंचा सकते हैं। अब आगे वो क्या करते हो, तो हमारी पार्टी ने बाकायदा आज स्पेशल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके शिवप्रिया जी ने कह दिया है, उनको नेक ख्वाहिशात पेश कर दिए हैं। और ये तरीक़ा है सियासत में, अगर कोई गया है तो कुछ सोच कर गया होगा, लेकिन मैं ये समझता हूँ कि वो अपनी ज़ाती सोच पर गए हैं, आइडियोलॉजी पर नहीं गए, कांग्रेसी होने से के हिसाब से बिल्कुल नहीं गए हैं। उन्होंने बहुत ऐसा काम किया है जिसकी उम्मीद उनसे नहीं की जा सकती। ये बात तो सही है कि काफ़ी अरसे से ये अफवाहें गर्दिश करती रहती थी कि उनका कुछ तालमेल बीजेपी वालों के साथ है, लेकिन हमारे जैसा आदमी सोचता था कि नहीं, वो ऐसा नहीं करेंगे। वो किया, ऐसा अफसोस है।
Well, this is what the Congress party is humming. The entire leaders across the country, whenever we are talking to them, whether it's Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, they all are maintaining that first, this was not expected from RPN Singh because a lot was given to him by the party, and second, they are saying that anyone who leaves this battle of ideology is nothing but short of a coward. Now, these are very strong words which are coming in from the Congress party, Nabila, and we have seen the stand that the Congress has taken today. We have also seen as to how the Congress, with the news which is pouring in just now from Jharkhand, is that there the MLAs are saying all is well, we are not going anywhere, we are with the party. So this is really interesting because we have seen as to how when Captain Amrinder Singh left, there was this expectation that a lot of people will leave Congress party. That didn't happen, and now do you think Mr. Afzal कि यही रीरन वहाँ पर झारखंड में भी रहेगा कि नहीं, कुछ लोग जा सकते हैं, खतरा है सरकार में? मैं एक बार फिर से पूछ रहा हूँ।
कुछ नहीं होगा
जी।
देखिए, जो भी जनरल सेक्रेटरी बनकर या जो भी इंचार्ज बनकर किसी स्टेट में जाता है तो उसको एक गलतफहमी कभी नहीं पालना चाहिए कि उसकी ज़बरदस्त कोई फॉलोइंग है। वो वहाँ पर एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर की हैसियत से, एक इंचार्ज की हैसियत से जाता है जो कई मामलात को देखता है। ऐसा नहीं है कि वहाँ के लोग उससे जुड़े, वहाँ के लोग कांग्रेस पार्टी से जुड़ते हैं, किसी एक इंडिविजुअल से नहीं जुड़ते।
मेरा आखिरी सवाल है कि तो मतलब कांग्रेस को धक्का नहीं लगेगा RPN सिंह के जाने से यूपी में और नेशनल लेवल?
देखिए, मैं एक बात बता दूँ, किसी के भी जाने से ये कहना कि कोई बहुत बड़ा धक्का लग गया, ये 135 साल पुरानी पार्टी है। इसने ज़िंदगी में पता नहीं कितने धक्के खाए हैं, कितने ऐसे धचकों की बात की जाती है, और उसके बाद भी कांग्रेस पार्टी उभर करके सामने आती है। और कांग्रेस पार्टी को मुझे तो नहीं लगता कि आज की तारीख में कोई ऐसा बड़ा नुकसान होने वाला है।
Well, this is what the Congress party has to maintain.
Supriya, we heard him. Well, it's very easy to dismiss them as cowards. Maybe a slight introspecting from the Congress party will do them good. If they're really looking at even a possible comeback in the near future, then certainly this is about time that they introspect. Let me cut across to our reporters furthermore reporting on ground. We have Abhishek Mishra joining us, Moshmi also. I'm going to cut across to them with some more perspectives coming in on this. But here, what's in it for the BJP as RPN Singh gears up to formally be inducted in the BJP at 2:30 p.m. today? today, we're looking at the BJP, of course, looking at this as a massive one-upmanship right ahead of polls in Uttar Pradesh. It hits Priyanka Gandhi's mission to revive the Congress undoubtedly. Also shows the Gandhis can't contain implosion and also may initiate a quake in Jharkhand alliance. I said that there's an alliance that they've come through to power in Jharkhand. Possibly it could result in a crack there. It can also demoralize the UP's Congress cadre. Now, this is what we see when we look at the BJP, while it formally gears up to induct RPN Singh. It appears that the BJP has a lot to take away from this. Let me cut across to Abhishek Mishra joining us live for more on that from Uttar Pradesh itself. Abhishek, if you can give us a perspective here. We know that RPN Singh won as the Congress MLA from Padrauna 3 times. He was hoping that he would be really elevated within the Congress party, wanted a more plum, meaty role, but it appears he felt sidelined, which is now he's quit. Any word from the Congress so far as to whether or not they're going to be considering RP Singh from the Padrauna seat itself opposite? We believe that he might be standing opposite Samajwadi Party. All right, stay with us there. Congress loyalist RP Singh set to join the BJP there. RPN Singh now just reaches the headquarters of the BJP. So it's formal, it's confirmed. RPN Singh is joining the BJP. He's himself arrived at the BJP headquarters. He's going to be formally inducted. 2:30 p.m. is the time, barely 15 minutes from now. RPN Singh will be now taking oath as a BJP member. What role will he be given as part of the BJP? That only, of course, time will tell. A little more clarity we'd get only post his induction. But for now, we understand that RPN Singh is maybe looking at a more central role for himself. He does not want to jump back into state politics as he's maybe done with that, maybe lost touch there. He's not won a seat for over a decade. He's hoping to sort of shape his profile yet again now with the BJP. Abhishek Mishra, of course, giving us a perspective there. Abhishek, will RPN Singh be fielded from the BJP from Padrauna constituency? Is there a possibility of that?
Well, absolutely, Nabila. It's very high chance that RPN Singh will be contesting on the BJP symbol from that particular seat, and the Padrauna seat has now become a major challenge for both the parties now. Samajwadi Party, is it expected that Swami Prasad Maurya, who have left the BJP, has joined hand with Akhilesh Yadav, will field him. We have spoken to Swami Prasad Maurya, and he said that the Akhilesh Yadav has to decide, but he is very open about it, that any Karyakarta, any worker of Samajwadi Party can easily defeat RPN Singh if he gets a chance there. On the other hand, it is very important. They see RPN Singh coming into the BJP is not just about one seat, it's about the whole belt altogether, Kushinagar and the adjoining areas. And RPN Singh has been a 3-time MLA. Last time also he lost to Swami Prasad Maurya, but also the margin was not much. So that margin can easily be compensated if RPN Singh is coming on a BJP symbol and if BJP decides to field him. Also at the same time, Purvanchal battle has become very important. They have already seen how Yogi Adityanath is contesting from Gorakhpur. All the top leaders are now have done a campaign. All those programs last month were only concentrated in the eastern part. So that particular belt has become very important for the BJP. The BJP is looking at regaining the momentum and 115 seats which they won in 2017 back then. So it is very important, and it will also be very interesting to see how RPN would react to it, because he has not spoken to us so far, and also the Congress party, which is saying that he is actually a coward, and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also has said that whosoever wants to leave the party can go, because I'm fighting a battle which is very important for the Congress party. So yes, a big setback to the Congress party, and how the BJP is going to utilize this opportunity by fielding him from Padrauna or by making it another deal, it's going to be very important. But a big loss for the Congress and a big gain for the BJP as far as the political battle in Purvanchal is concerned.
Right. Abhishek, again, I'd like to ask you, has there been a pact of sorts between RPN Singh and the BJP already? Has there been a decision that I'm going to be joining the party, this is a role I want to be taking charge of? Has there been an appeal from RPN's side? Has there been an offer from the BJP side? Anything that's already pre-established?
Well, absolutely. There has been talk and there has been negotiations as far as his seat is concerned. And RPN Singh is not coming into the BJP just as a face or, just to do some campaign. It is very clear that Padrona seat is going to belong to him. And see, last time also, it was not much of a margin. Swami Prasad Maurya won that particular seat. And this time, if Samajwadi Party feels him, it's going to be a direct battle between him and Swami Prasad Maurya. And also, as I'm telling you, that it is more about a perspective. It is more about giving, a strong leader who's coming from a strong background. The caste equations are also, in the favor of the BJP, and that is something which the party would like to utilize as far as RPN is concerned. So there are very high chance that he will be contesting, but that yet to be made official by the BJP. And first, he has to join, and when he's joined, how he's going to react it and how the party has decided to, take RPN on board would be very interesting to see. Yes.
Well, if you're speaking of Padrona itself as a constituency, what's the major vote bank there? We believe that it's a major OBC belt. Swami Prasad Maurya there has won with a small margin, and he's now going to be fielded from the SP. What kind of goodwill does RPN still hold in that constituency, which he won at one point over a decade ago? Does he still have favor in that constituency? He's moved to Delhi. He's been living in Delhi, far away from the state politics for a while now.
See, every high profile and, a prominent leader always have a core voter, and that is something which always, is to stick to that particular leader. RPN Singh has been a 3-time MLA. He had been a member of parliament as well, and he is a very well-known face in Padrona and the whole Kushinagar belt. Swami Prasad Maurya is also a very prominent leader. He was in BSP, then he joined the BJP, and now in Samajwadi Party. So both the leaders will be coming along with their core particular vote. But the BJP, the kind of equation they are managing on the ground is basically working on the OBC vote. So BJP also has their own set of votes and own set of segment which will add on to RPN's own. So that could be a significant changer if Swami Prasad Maurya is there. And as far as caste equations is concerned, backward is something which are very prominent. There are also a few Brahmins. There is also a Thakur vote which is also predominant in that particular area. And since RPN comes from a royal family, he has a good hold over these seats. So again, I'm saying the margin which was left out in the last election could easily be compensated with the BJP, and that is what BJP is also looking at. But it all depends how the BJP feels him, and RPN, when he will join, how he would take this opportunity, which is getting very important for the BJP and as well for RPN Singh.
In fact, RPN Singh has just arrived at the BJP headquarters. Abhishek Mishra, thank you very much, but stay with us. I'm going to come back to you. RPN Singh all set to join the BJP in just minutes from now. He's going to be formally inducted into the BJP. Paulami Saha right there at the BJP headquarters. Paulami, RPN Singh arrives at the BJP headquarters. What's the mood like? Is he all smiles? Does he look grim? Confident?
Well, he just arrived, in fact, at the BJP headquarters. He is currently meeting some of the leadership which is present over here. And what we can say is also that he's been tweeting out some of his, responses, comments ahead of the joining to the Bharatiya Janata Party. What he's just tweeted is, "This is a new beginning for me, and I look forward to my contribution to nation building under the visionary leadership and guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, BJP President Shri J.P. Nadda, and Honorable Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah." So RPN Singh all set to join the Bharatiya Janata Party. In a short while from now, we're expecting for that press conference to begin, where he will be officially inducted into the Bharatiya Janata Party. So something which we were reporting since earlier this morning, that the buzz was much stronger than previous times. This time that Mr. RPN Singh in fact has been in touch with the top leadership of the party, including the Prime Minister, over the last couple of days, and it was only looking imminent that in a day or two he could be joining the Bharatiya Janata Party. That news in fact came in today itself. He of course announcing himself on Twitter, on social media, that he has quit the Bharatiya Janata Party, tweeting out his resignation to Congress President Sonia Gandhi, and then of course now almost announcing his joining into the Bharatiya Janata Party as well. We've seen him arrive here at the BJP party headquarters. In a short while from now, he will be in fact coming out of that gate and heading towards the press conference hall in Bharatiya Janata Party. So it is going to be quite interesting to see how, of course, RPN Singh reacts to the first comments that are coming out from the Congress party, that those who are switching over from one ideology to another, which is considered to be diametrically opposite, are cowards. And, of course, what the Bharatiya Janata Party has in store for Mr. RPN Singh. Will he be contesting the assembly elections from Padrona, or does the party have something else in mind for Mr. RPN Singh? We will soon find out, Nabila.
Well, RPN Singh, as he arrives at the BJP headquarters, Paulmi, here we understand that the Congress itself says that they're not going to stop anyone who wants to leave. They're free to leave. Absolutely no pacifying that's happened, and that's what it appears here, because we understand, sources tell us, that this kind of sentiment was prevailing for a little while. RPN Singh had already sent out feelers for quite some time that he may be jumping ships anytime soon. Never expected that this would happen now at this moment, right when the Congress listed him as a star campaigner for Uttar Pradesh. He wasn't even considered for the Padrona seat. Not too sure if he even asked for it. But now, as Abhishek Mishra tells us from on ground, he's in Uttar Pradesh reporting live, giving us an insight into those developments there in UP. It appears that RPN Singh could very well be fielded in Padrona constituency itself. Paulmi, if you can hear us.
Well, it may well be. Yes, can you hear me?
Paulmi, we can hear you. Go on.
Right, Nabila, as I was saying, and as we were discussing earlier as well in the last couple of hours, it may be the case that Mr. RPN Singh possibly doesn't want to contest the assembly elections now that he, in fact, had moved to the centre in Delhi in 2009 after having contested the Lok Sabha elections then. But there is still a possibility, there's still a chance that the BJP could field him in these assembly elections of Uttar Pradesh in 2022, possibly promising him that if indeed he's able to prove his mettle and bring the BJP some crucial votes from the OBC community, considering he comes from the OBC community and specifically in the region of Purvanchal, where he comes from. Again, the battle is extremely intense over there between the Samajwadi Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party. If indeed he, in fact, his induction begins to pay dividends for the Bharatiya Janata Party, especially in these 2022 elections, there's absolutely no, shutting of doors on the possibility of him contesting then eventually in 2024 the Lok Sabha elections and then being brought to the centre. So that doesn't rule out the fact that he could possibly contest the assembly elections right now, doesn't rule out the possibility of him contesting the general elections in 2024. So yes, there's a high possibility that Mr. RPN Singh, who's joining the party ahead of the assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, could be fielded, in fact, from his constituency of Padrona, from where he was a member of the Legislative Assembly between 1996 and 2009. It was a seat earlier held by his father, Mr. RPN Singh, as well. So clearly, it is considered to be a stronghold of the family, and hence it remains to be seen if indeed Mr. RPN Singh does in fact help BJP bag the Padrona seat.
Well, stay with us, Paulmi. I'm going to cut across to Abhishek Mishra joining us for more on that. Abhishek, well, Paulmi also has a perspective there. She says that it's likely, and of course based on sources and the kind of message that's being sent out, is that maybe he wants a more central role to play. He's not looking at venturing into state politics again, maybe wants something more meaty in the centre. That could be the likelihood. What's your take on that? What do you understand?
Well, absolutely. Paulmi said it right that, all the possibilities are open, and it is the BJP top leadership has to decide how the RPN Singh is going to be utilizable for the party. There is no doubt of the fact that in the UP polls, we have seen how the top leaders are into the battle. Akhilesh Yadav, who has never fought a UP election, assembly election, is for the first time in the fray. At the same time, we have also seen how Yogi Adityanath is also, be contesting from Gorakhpur urban seat, and all those top leaders. So it is not just about our election, it is about giving our perspective and giving a message out there. So it is quite possible also. And also there is a possibility that his wife could also be filled from that particular seat, or maybe the BJP is deciding to have a role in the center or for the 2024. So that all remains to be seen. It is very important, but he coming within the BJP is itself a major setback for the Congress party and a big marginal development for the BJP, which could actually benefit the party in any either way, be it fielding him from Padrona or utilizing him for the top at the center or something else. So time and again it remains to be seen, but RPN Singh entry into the BJP will certainly have impact not only in Padrona but all that belt, specifically Purvanchal, because again I'm saying this, Purvanchal has become a major battle for the BJP. They're looking at retaining their numbers, and Samajwadi Party is in direct fight, one-on-one fight with the ally partners who Akhilesh Yadav has, be it OP Rajpal, Mahandal and all those partners who are there. BJP is strategizing from constituencies to constituency and specifically making it a point that the seat should be convertible. We've also seen how for Raebareli, Aditi Singh is there. She is contesting. She has been a prominent MLA from there, and one by one all these leaders, all these new faces who are being inducted in the party are actually coming with a strategy. So that strategy is to strengthen the party and to get the vote and the mandate in the BJP's favor. RPN certainly going to play a very big role. What it could be, that remains to be seen. Yes.
Well, here it comes as a massive embarrassment for the Congress party right when Priyanka Gandhi decides to enter into Uttar Pradesh. She's leading the party's campaign, possibly the CM face for the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh. She is, of course, very confident under her leadership that the Congress party will gain big, maybe revive its prospects from the last time to this time. And under her watch, RPN Singh, who is supposed to be the closest aide, one of the close aides of the Gandhi family, has been really loyal to the Congress party itself, has now parted ways. He quits the Congress, now joins the BJP. In just moments from now, we're actually waiting for those visuals, first visuals to come in. Right here in India today, RPN Singh will be taking over. He's going to be inducted formally in the BJP, and those visuals are going to come in moments from now. Paulami Saha right there at the head office of the BJP. In fact, this image here, first image of RPN Singh entering the BJP headquarters in Delhi. This is the first image that we get here of RPN Singh entering the BJP headquarters. In moments from now, he's going to be formally inducted into the BJP. This is a huge setback for the Congress party, a big takeaway for the BJP ahead of polls in terms of just a perception here for the BJP. It's a big booster. He's, of course, won 3 times as an MLA from Padrona constituency in Uttar Pradesh. He then went on to become an MP. He was also a minister under the UPA government and has been so far a Congress General Secretary. He's been a star campaigner for Uttar Pradesh. At least he was listed on that list among the 30 other star campaigners. He was also one of them. And then he's also in charge for Jharkhand. So now with RPN Singh resigning from the Congress, there's a lot of talk on some kind of cracks emerging in Jharkhand. Of course, this is speculation. No confirmation as yet on any kind of disgruntlement in the Jharkhand unit. But so far, we understand that this not just sets back the Congress in Uttar Pradesh in terms of perception, but also a lot of doubts raised on the Congress's prospects and stability itself in Jharkhand. He was responsible, we believe, for at least 15 MLAs in Jharkhand. A loyalist of RPN is what is believed, and maybe that will be certainly the center focus for the Congress to try and fix at the earliest. If at all there seems to be any kind of disgruntlement in their Jharkhand party itself. It's an alliance there in Jharkhand. But nonetheless, RPN Singh now joining the BJP. In just moments from now, visuals will be coming in showing RPN Singh formally being inducted. Paulami is there right at the headquarters. Paulami, when does that begin? We're waiting to see. And here, in fact, RPN Singh, is he likely to be addressing the media there? Paulami. All right, I'm going to try and patch Polemy there. Of course, a lot of activity happening at the BJP headquarters. Abhishek Mishra there from Uttar Pradesh. He's been bringing us all the live developments. Abhishek, all right, unfortunately, we've lost our reporters there. We're going to try and patch them back on the line. Here, RPN Singh, the first image coming in. Remember, on the right-hand side of your screens, you're looking at a long list of former Congress netas who have resigned and jumped ship, have joined the BJP. In fact, Jyotiraditya Scindia certainly was one who joined the BJP, a big induction. We are looking at RPN Singh, of course, Jitin Prasada also, who joined the BJP. And you do know that Sachin Pilot had quite some grouse with the Congress senior leadership. There's been a lot of a tension that was brewing at one point. Not too sure if that's settled now, but that picture really speaks a lot. Let me quickly cut across to reactions coming in. Now, political reactions coming in on RPN's resignation.
The kind of fight that the Indian National Congress is putting up all across the country, and particularly in a state like Uttar Pradesh, is a battle against the government's resources, the battle for truth. And to fight a battle as strongly pitched as this one, you have to fight it with courage, you have to fight it with a lot of dedication. I don't think this is meant for the coward, and like Priyanka ji has said, you need to be on your toes.
This young man is grounded, principled, and it is not for any opportunistic situation that he's coming to the Bharatiya Janata Party. There are certain principles he has stood for, and if that principles are being reflected in the Bharatiya Janata Party, that's coincidental. And if he comes and joins the good idea of Sabke Saath, Sabka Vikas, I think that's a very interesting process that is going to set a principle in Indian politics.
Stressing news as far as the Congress is concerned. You also don't forget that, there are impact of, the perception can go not just in Uttar Pradesh, but it can go to the other states where the Congress is in a tough battle as well. So I do believe that while RPN may not have been the kind of active politician that he was during the UPA days, the fact remains that when you have been an elected MP, you have a very core, loyal supporters who will vote for you. And let's face it, many of the people who lost from the Congress lost not because they were unpopular, it's because the party was getting a lot of negative flack. So I do believe that this is a shot in the arm for the BJP, even if it's more optics and atmospherics and may not have any significant impact during the election. For the Congress, one could have said that they can ill afford this kind of a lapse happening at this point of time.
प्रभारी हमारे यहाँ लगातार जो हर प्रभारी 3 वर्ष के लिए होते हैं, कोई 4 वर्ष के लिए हो जाता है, तो प्रभारी जी के जाने का फर्क झारखंड पे कोई ऐसा पड़ने वाले की जो बात कही जा रही है उसमें कहीं कोई दम नहीं है। यहाँ सब लोग कांग्रेस पार्टी से लोग जुड़े होते हैं, किसी व्यक्ति विशेष से जुड़े हुए नहीं होते हैं, इसलिए उन्होंने जो निर्णय लिया है उन्होंने कुछ सोच समझ करके निर्णय लिया होगा और वो व्यक्तिगत उनका निर्णय है, लेकिन हम समझते हैं कि उन्होंने फैसला जो लिया है वो गलत फैसला लिया है और ये माने उनके मिजाज से मिलता हुआ जुलता फैसला नहीं है।
Now let me quickly cut across to Polemy Singh. Polemy, if you can hear me, please do take us through exactly what you see at the BJP headquarters. RPN Singh has arrived. Is he going to be speaking to the media? What's expected moments from now?
Well, yes, he has in fact arrived at the BJP party headquarters in a short while from now after he meets with some of the leaders who are present over here at the BJP party headquarters. He is likely to move towards the press conference hall where he will be officially inducted into the Bharatiya Janata Party, and of course he will be making his opening statement over there to the media as well. It remains to be seen, of course, whether he will take a few questions from the media as well, because the Congress party has been making certain allegations against RPN Singh, from calling him a coward to even saying that he in fact was allegedly, is what those legislators of the Congress party in Jharkhand are saying, is that over the past year Mr. RPN Singh was allegedly in cahoots with the Bharatiya Janata Party trying to destabilize the Jharkhand government. So that's a very serious charge which is being levelled. In fact, my colleague Satyajit in Ranchi is currently reporting that firecrackers have been burst outside the Congress office in Jharkhand in order to celebrate celebrate, quote unquote, RPN Singh's, switch over from the Congress to the Bharatiya Janata Party. What they're saying is that this was something which was only waiting to happen, and he was damaging the party while staying within the party over the last couple of years, and it's only a good thing that he's left. So those are very serious allegations which are being leveled by the Congress party. So it remains to be seen what Mr. RPN Singh has to say about these allegations. Nabila.
Well, allegations, of course, flying thick and fast. A lot of memes as well. Palumi, it's hilarious to see the kind of memes that popping up on social media platforms showing several Congress leaders, strong, tall leaders who are Congress loyalists now resigning. Many of them have resigned. A couple of them still disgruntled within the party. We've been putting out those images as well. So many, well, this image that we are putting out right here speaks volumes of the kind of leadership that the Congress has delivered. Clearly, they have not been able to contain and quell the dissent that was brewing from Jitin Prasada, Jyotiraditya Scindia to now RPN Singh. It's embarrassing, certainly, for the Congress party, even if they say that those who are not happy are free to leave. They can claim to be calm, but at the end of it, their own close leaders, they're the leaders who are their confidants more than anything, they're loyalists. For them to leave speaks volumes of the Congress's leadership itself and the way they carry out with their style of leadership. It's somehow not going down too well with several loyalists who've been in the party for decades and now finally calls it quits. RPN Singh, one of them in the latest now, has resigned from the Congress party, is now all set to join the BJP in just a few minutes. We're currently tracking those developments. Palumi Saha is right there at the BJP headquarters. This is the first image that we bring to you here of RPN Singh, who's right now at the BJP headquarters. He walks in. He's going to be formally inducted into the BJP. A lot of talk that he may just be fielded as a candidate from the BJP in the same home constituency that he won thrice, Padrona constituency, where he won thrice under the Congress's ticket. This time, will RPN Singh be fielded from that constituency, or is he looking at a more central leadership, central role to play? That remains to be seen. But in his Twitter bio, he's changed. He's obviously taken off the Congress's name in his Twitter bio. He's further said that I begin a new chapter in life. And he says that nation first for him. That's more or less what he's trying to portray, that he wants to take a more central role. Let's see if the BJP is considering him there, or whether this is more of an optic for the BJP ahead of Uttar Pradesh polls. It comes as certainly a big blow for the Congress. Now, big news coming in. Angry Congress now reacts to RPN's resignation. We're looking at Congress finally reacting to RPN Singh's resignation. In fact, we heard Supriya Srinath when she said that this is almost cowardly for someone to quit a party which has where you believed in a certain ideology and then completely move to another party which has an ideology poles apart from your own. So this is cowardice. This battle not meant for cowards. That's what Supriya Srinath says as a first reaction coming in from the Congress party. No pacifying. Let me tell you, absolutely no pacifying the disgruntled leader. Not too sure whether he even spoke with the Congress leadership before he made this decision of resigning, but at least when there was kind of and it was established that RPN Singh was feeling sidelined, he wanted to leave, there was absolutely no attempt, is what our reporters tell on ground. Of course, Supriya Srinath there in her first comment, this is what she said. Let's cut across.
The kind of fight that the Indian National Congress is putting up all across the country, and particularly in a state like Uttar Pradesh, is a battle against the government's resources, the battle for truth. And to fight a battle as strongly pitched as this one, you have to fight it with courage, you have to fight it with a lot of dedication. I don't think this is meant for the coward, and like Priyanka ji has said, you need to be on your toes.
All right, India Today continues to track those developments as RPN Singh has right now reached the BJP headquarters to be formally joining the party. On the other side of a short break, stay tuned.